Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Sunday, January 12th. I'm gonna go get my nails done. Just finished doing my nails. We are right outside of Aldi. Grocery shopping done. So I watched a CNBC video a while ago. They were talking about the business model of Aldi, the chain of grocery. Aldi brother, I think one of the brother is now Trader Joe's and the other one is Aldi. And everything in there is so cheap. If you have not visited Aldi, I recommend you guys to pay a visit. Not only you will save a ton in your grocery, but also you can see how efficient everything is. And I'll see you guys when I get back home.
Hi guys, welcome back to Spoon over here. I am a real estate agent here in Philadelphia. So I'm here with my assistant, aka my dog. Today's video, we are going to be talking about the mistakes that I have made as a new real estate agent. Same similar topic, I have made videos before. I've listed the 5 things that I have made as a new real estate agent in 2018. In this video, I'm going to give you guys 5 more mistakes that I have made in 2019. So it's more of an updated version. I will also link the previous video that I did in the description below. And the first one that I want to talk about is as an agent, not to be able to get too emotional over every single transactions. So if you guys pay attention, in the previous video, I've talked about one of my sellers were actually listed with somebody else, which I had the impression that they're still in contract with me. And the seller did not notify me, nor did the new agent. So I didn't have any clue, and we're still in a valid contract. So when a similar situation that happened, what happened to me was I took that into my heart and I talked about it on my channel and I was very emotional. Now that I think back about what happened with the incident, it's really not that big of a deal, because as an agent, this is a type of business. Where there's a business, there's always risk involved. So as an agent, there are different ways that you can do with a situation like this. You could either, fight for it, or you could just walk away and focus on your future production. So what I choose to do is definitely focus on my future production, focus on my input. I want to look past through it. I want to focus on myself. I don't want to focus too much on the negativity. Secondly, I want to talk about is not every single person is a buyer nor a seller. Why? Because so don't get confused with this two concept. Everybody could be a potential seller and buyer, yes. However, once we got a prospect, what we need to do is right away, we have to qualify them. For instance, if there's a seller who's ready to sell their house, then we need to ask them different questions like, how much equity do you have on the house? How much mortgage do you still left that you have to pay? Do you know where you're moving to? Can you be out in 45 to 30 days? Stuff like that, just so you have a better idea of who you are dealing with. For me, a lot of time, especially this past year, I have been focused a lot with for sale by owner and expired listings. However, what I found out was with the expires and for sale by owners, a lot of time they had either trust issue or they think of themselves as if they know everything. So when you're starting out a relationship based on the other person that wasn't really respect you enough, or with the expires, they have been told something that's not true, they didn't trust agents, they don't like agents. In that circumstance, a lot of time it's really hard to work on a relationship or work on a transaction easily to get the job done. So I do call expires and I do call for sale by owners. I just don't focus too much on those. I also, most importantly, I focus on calling just neighborhoods. So street up and down, I calling them and ask them if they're ready to sell their house. And the thirdly, I want to talk about with the seller. Before, I get so happy every time I go on a listing appointment, or even if I heard somebody on the phone on the other line saying that, oh yeah, I am interested in selling my house, and I say, oh great. But the more deals that I am handling, or the more transactions that I've been through, a lot of the selling situation is actually a distress situation. It's usually not a happy situation. If you think about dealing with buyers, first-time home buyers, it's typically a very happy situation. You know, a couple just got married, or they have their first kids, they're ready to upgrade their house. So it's a happy situation, they found their house, right? But if you think about going to a listing appointment, a lot of the time it's either a divorce, or they're getting old, that they are ready to downsize to a ranch, or sometimes, you know, it's even worse, their partner had passed away and they couldn't take care of themselves, they need to go to a senior living home. So when it comes to this type of situation, as a realtor, as a professional, you need to position yourself in a neutral spot. So if someone says, okay, well, I am going through a divorce, and you know, or oh yeah, I'm ready to sell my house, don't say, oh great, because you don't know if it's a great situation. So just to be very aware of, a selling process and a buying process sometimes can be a very different situation, and the way you handle it, just to keep it neutral and very professional. So the next one is to not to focus too much on the outcome, however, but to focus more with your input. Because in real estate, in this business, for you to even get, well, for me in this case, for me to get my first deal, it took me about 4 months to get my first paycheck. So if you're thinking about, you know, whether spending time on the phone, a lot of time, one transaction could take up to 10 to 12 follow-ups. So if you're focusing too much on how much you're getting paid over one transaction, and you get discouraged if you don't see result right away, that's not ideal. So what you really need to focus on is to have a solid daily, you know, structure, and what your day should really like, and focus on how many hours you're really producing business. What I mean is by lead generation, how many hours you're lead generating business, and you know, then set a set a very realistic goal for 6-12 months. And if, let's say, your income does not match, don't get discouraged, because we are in the business for the long run. You have to see the picture in the small scale, and then also the bigger picture as well. So that's number 4. And last but not least, I want to talk about consistency. So I made a previous video talking about how I didn't make 100K the past year, and now reverse back into 2019, I really need to be criticized as actually the 2018, the winter, and the beginning of my 2019. What did I do in the beginning of 2019? And because everything that I'm doing before 6 months or 12 months ahead is going to cause a big, you know, result. It's going to cause a result 12 months later. So I did take a long break in the beginning of 2019 because I went back to China to prepare for the wedding, and that kind of caused me to start out my 2019 as a very weak start. And you know, for us, I think it's very important, do take some time for yourself. However, just don't take a too big of a break. And also with the pattern, a lot of time people get so caught up with getting listings, or like 2, 3, 4 listings at once, and they just get really busy with the listings and answering calls and schedule showings, and they forget about, you know, how important it is to produce business at the same time. So what you really need to do is, no matter how busy you get, no matter how many listings you have currently, you also need to stick with your normal routine and your normal lead generating routine as well. So what I incorporate with mine is, every time when I'm on the phone prospecting, I do all my admin work, and if scheduling showings, everything can be done through text message, I prefer to do it through text message and emailing. I prefer not to be on the phone and call, agents. I prefer not to have conversations with agents if they could just text me. So really, focus on multitasking, focus on, put your priority as, prospecting as the most important thing. So I hope this video can really help you guys get an overview of the mistakes that I've made in my 2018 and 2019, and to use this video as a great source for yourself to have a really kickstart for 2020. So here's Luna over here, and I appreciate you guys for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.